Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another Behind the Veil. It is Tuesday at 2, and I'm so excited to have you guys back here with us. And let me just let in our running a little behind Brooke Logan Stoner. Anyway, so again, I'm Keith Willard. I'm your host with Behind the Veil, and it's Tuesday at 2. And I'd like to say again hello to Marcy Gutenberg with an affair to remember by Marcy. Hi, Marcy.
Hello.
Hi, Tyler with Cachet Events. Yay.
Hi, guys.
Brooke Logan Stoner, we love you. Hi, and I love your butterfly, honey. Love your butterfly. And then our special guest this week is Gaetana from, oh God, where'd my brain go? Oh, tell me.
Gallery of Amazing Things.
Thank you, Gallery of Amazing Things. I don't know where my brain just went right there. So yeah, so Gallery of Amazing Things. And we are so excited that you got to be a part of this week's show. And because I know that there are a ton of questions regarding venues, vendors,
I'm ready.
Right?
Throw them at me.
It's incredible. So again, here we are in the middle of all this stuff, and everybody's had some events move. But Gaetana was just telling us that she actually had an event at Living Sculpture Gallery.
Living Sculpture Sanctuary in Davie. It's an outdoor venue. But they kind of slid under the ropes as a venue, as agricultural, because they're also a nursery. They grow and sell plants. So they were able to have weddings in their beautiful space. Their space is absolutely lovely. Yeah. They were only 45 people each, so it really wasn't that big. Easy to handle.
But the fact that the fact that you had a venue that you were able to do an event at, because
in
they're
a venue,
considered agricultural. I love that.
It's great that they were able to sneak those brides in under that guise. But you know what? It was legal for them because it is something they are open to a public, and because they're acres and acres and acres, their capacity is innumerable. But they were able to, in their venue space, have these weddings, and they went off very well without a hitch. We did all the precautions. We took temperature as the guests got out of the car. Yeah. We gave everybody a mask. We gave everybody a personal hand sanitizer with the bride and groom's name and the date on it. So Aww. it made it kind of cutesy. They also, the masks that we had were personalized to the bride and groom too. So it was very cute. And
so, did they wear masks the entire time? Did you have them
wear
the
did
mask?
not. No.
Yeah. So I was going to say.
No, as we were told by the Davie police, who are on site for every one of the events on that location.
Yeah.
We are required to make sure that everybody has the proper precautions, but we are not required to make sure that they keep those precautions. The only thing that we're required to do is make sure that the vendors hold true to all the precautions. So vendors must wear masks. Yeah. Vendors must constantly hand sanitize. You can't have your mask down in any of the areas where the guests are present. Really? So if we went into the restroom, or if we went to another portion of the space where there were no guests, then it was okay to kind of, pull it down and give a breather. It was July.
Yeah, outside. I was about to say July outside, and there's no air conditioning in that space anywhere. No, just none. Covered areas.
And I was there from 11 to 11. So to wear a mask for 12 full hours with just, pulling down every now and again, it was tough, but we all adhered to the guidelines very, very well. The guests were very appreciative. We had a buffet. So you can imagine, as caterer, having buffet with you touching plates, everybody touching plates. That was a little bit different. All of the silverware was wrapped in cellophane and inside the napkin rolls. So it was cleaned and then put in this, so nobody really touched it after it was cleaned. And then for the buffet, we took the plates from behind. We filled the plates as per what they pointed to. And then at the end of the table, there was pumped hand sanitizer so the guests could wash their hands and then take their plate. So
that's incredible.
We took as much precaution as we could. And thankfully, we did keep in touch with the family for weeks afterwards. And there were no incidents, zero incidents, zero. Nobody complained about so much as a sniffle.
You know what? I just love the fact that I get to hear about an event that actually happened the right way. Because poor Tyler, we heard a couple of weeks ago about his Oklahoma trip. So 60 extra people, and the mother came down with COVID, and luckily he was fine. I think.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, we were all good. We were all good, and all the guests were good. So that really made it. It was a successful event, just like you would do any other wedding. you know, it was kind of funny to see that even the elderly people that showed up, even though we gave them masks and everything else, nobody wore them. And it was at their discretion.
Well, and plus it's 45 people, so you I feel like that's a fairly intimate group of people.
Yeah.
I mean,
and there was room to spread out, and
Yeah.
you know, nobody's really on top of each other. They were 60-inch round tables with only, you know, 6 people at a table, so you're not right on top of each other, but you're not really that spread out either.
But it was outdoors, and you don't have to worry about the air
Outdoors.
conditioning issues and stuff.
Correct.
Right? But
So it was
so
great.
talking about space, I actually am very excited about Gallery of Amazing Things, because I
Yes.
understand under new ownership, and you've got a couple of new
Under new
things.
ownership.
So that's why I was
Yeah.
like, well, maybe you could give us like a little bit of a tour of what's going on.
I can.
Because you've got the most amazing space. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this, Gallery of Amazing Things has, how many square feet do you have? How many square feet do you have?
Our entertainment space that we rent out is about 16,000 square feet. So that's all available for the one rental price. It's not separate rooms or anything like that. It's one price. You get the whole space. You get to do whatever you need to do for a 12-hour rental. So
amazing.
It's quite unique, quite unique. So yeah, we were taken over on April the 1st. So the new owners moved out as of June 1st. They finally got everything, every fossil, every binocular, everything that was
damn. They didn't leave any fossils behind? I would have been all over that.
They left nothing behind, nothing. Like, they took everything, every desk, every garbage can, every fossil.
Wow.
But the new owners happen to be very tight and very close with the artists at Wynwood. So the front of the space, which used to be, and I'll walk you up to the front of the space. The front of the space, which used to be where all the fossils were and the binoculars and so on, those rooms are both going to be white now. One was white, one was dark.
Right.
And we're going to be featuring different local artists from time to time. So the art will always be changing.
Love it.
Right now we have a video machine in the back there. We have
video games.
We have a video game. So when we're bored, we can play Galga and Pac-Man. It's awesome. So we have this brand new Baldwin beautiful piano. It's blue. I don't know if you can see the color. Yeah, it's blue. And with a clear top. So it's kind of really neat. And so if somebody wants to hire a pianist for their guests when they come in, or cocktail hour, we have this here, so you can have that music being played.
And you still have that beautiful chandelier. You still have the beautiful chandelier there, so that's nice.
The Yadra chandelier we still have.
Yeah. Oh,
so
good,
that was a non-negotiable. We had to keep.
Yeah. I was about to say. So this is your entrance, and so now you're moving into. Yeah, gorgeous.
There's the doors. There's the doors. So now we're moving into the space that used to be cocktail hour space.
Love it. And so, by the way, if you're just joining us, thank you again for watching Behind the Veil. We are here live with Gaetana with a Gallery of Amazing Things, walking through the new space.
Yeah. So the new space, this one's really under construction. You're going to see all kinds of ladders and things behind me. Right now, it's a conference room because our offices are blown out. So all of these tables will go away. In the back here, this is going to be a private soundproof video room. So if people want to come and do video meetings, different kinds of meetings with up to 100 people, they can do something in this room. We're going to have pull-out bleachers on the one wall, those padded bleachers that pull out from the wall.
That'll be nice.
As a matter of fact, we have one of them right here. We have one piece right here. I don't know if I can get it in the screen.
No, you got it. I can see it. Yeah.
It's a piece, but there's going to be bleachers in here, a projection wall on the other side, and then seating down the middle. But this will be a soundproof room. But it's still going to be our cocktail room, because in between these pillars that are behind me, there's one right here, there's going to be movable walls. So we can move the soundproof pieces into place, but still have this nice big space, because this space is great for up to 175 people on a regular basis.
That's amazing.
Cocktail hour.
I mean, it sounds like you guys are really turning it into a true venue space, like a true event space.
It really is. We are going forward. I can't show you anything about it right now, but going forward, we'll have built-in video mapping. We will have lighting. Yeah, we're going to have video mapping through the two larger galleries, as well as in the lobby. Yeah, so very reasonable video mapping in the lobby, as well as the two larger galleries.
Not to bring up the Miami video mapping place.
No, not to bring that up. This is going to be very reasonable. I didn't say that.
I did. I said that. It's fine.
this room here, we can't really see it because our movable walls are kind of blocking where the people are working right now at their desks. But this behind me used to be a big black curtain that separated sort of the back part of the space that we didn't really use that much. So being that we were in need of future bathrooms for this side of the gallery, we now have, there's a ladies' room here. And the neat thing about the ladies' room, and I'm gonna back through it so that you can watch, but the ladies' room, as we come back, and it's still not totally finished yet, here are the sinks, but this is going to be a doorway into the new bridal suite. So the bridal suite is now connected to the restroom.
That's amazing. So if you guys haven't been to this facility before, they used to have two major restrooms that if you were on one side of the building, you would have to cross all 16,000 square feet to get to to get to the bathroom. So this is amazing.
Yeah. So you could see behind me, both of the bathroom doors are here now. This is the men's room right here, and the ladies' room is right next to it. And then that is our ceremony space right here, right behind me. So it's literally right off the space for the first time in the longest time that we're really, really, really excited about that because it's something we really were in need of.
Well, one of the things I really love about your facility is the ability to hang lighting anywhere because you have the,
up there, you can see our ceilings. You can put lighting just about anywhere when it comes up there. Now this down here, it's a long walk. This is 6,000 square feet. Hold on, I'm on my way. So this behind, it's very bright until I get there. It's new video and photography site wall or psych wall. You can see the curved edge down at the bottom there. So the curved edge is so that you don't get any lines through anybody's legs or ankles when they're doing photography. And this is the entire length of that back area of Gallery A, the biggest gallery.
That's incredible.
Now we will have video projection on there. We will have lighting projection on there. I'm sure you've all been to the venue in Wilton Manors, and they have those great lights on the ceiling that tip, and they have different heads and things. We're putting one of those up in the ceiling so that we can make this more of an entertainment area. So that's going to be really, really neat. Now, another thing that we are building that I can't show you right now because there's kind of a lot going on out there. We are going to be featuring going forward, hopefully this fall, outdoor ceremony and entertainment space right off of this main room.
Oh my God, you needed it so bad.
Yeah. So we will have ceremony space complete with a nice big, they have a big tree out there, and they'll be putting bistro lighting from the building to the tree, and possibly sails, for shade, so that we'll have a shaded area out there. There'll also be a catering kitchen. So
yes, you're gonna actually do a catering kitchen.
We're gonna have a real kitchen.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah, walk-in freezer, walk-in cooler, dishwashing station, ovens, fryer-laters, everything.
So then, of course, a big question comes, like, have you even figured out what your pricing is going to be for your rentals yet?
No, no.
I was about to say.
Right now, until everything is complete, and now, we have to get through this nonsense and see where everybody is financially, because we also have to remember that the people that we're catering to, many of them have gone through financial difficulties, but they still would like to have their events. So we're not looking to press anybody right away. We want to make sure that we get back up and running before we even consider where that pricing might go, for the future.
Yeah, so because I really feel like in 2021, like late 2021, you're going to be able to
late 2021, we're really going to be able to, I'm thinking that by spring, by next spring, 2021 is when we can start to consider pricing that's going to move us further.
Well, and so that comes up to an interesting question, especially for our viewers, because you first of all, you went through a transition from one owner to the next. I'm assuming that those contracts just shifted over with no issue at all, right? From one ownership to the next, meaning deposits that were already down still count towards it, et cetera.
Everything, nothing in that regard was changed, nothing at all.
And then what are you doing about moving dates? Because I know that Marcy and Tyler and Brooke, and we've all had to be moving dates, and without issue. You know, trying to make sure
without
that people,
issue.
yeah, trying to make sure people have the data still get their dream without killing themselves.
Exactly. You know, it's been, as all of you know, it's hard to hear that bride on the phone who really, really, really wanted whatever date they chose.
Yeah.
And you
You're
know,
fine.
it's hard to hear
Yeah.
somebody, you know, they're sad. It hurts, and I totally understand it. I mean, my own daughter got married in February. We slipped through right under the wire because if it had been 2 weeks later,
oh yeah,
that's when the shutdown happened. So, you know, it's sad hearing them, but we have given them every opportunity to move to whatever date they choose. The only dates we held back were Saturdays in December, because typically that's when we have a lot of our larger holiday events, and being a big space, a lot of the larger companies come to us because they want a lot of space to be able to spread out. But we didn't have any issue with that. None of them wanted December.
Well, it's just, I mean, it's incredible. Did I see that the fairy chandelier is still there?
It's still there. Yeah. I was asked, what are my main things, you know, that need to stay? If there's something that has to stay, what is it? And I said, I don't care what string you need to pull, who you need to pay off, but that chandelier can't leave. The brides love that chandelier. Everybody knows this. It's iconic to the gallery.
It really is. I mean, because if you see pictures of that, you immediately know that it's Gallery of Amazing Things. I mean, and the fact that you've now got 16,000 square feet that are starting to make sense for events. I mean, I always love doing events there. We did lots of different style events there. But I love the fact that you're giving us options to, like, you know, play with a little bit, you know?
Well, going even further, hopefully into next summer, there will be, in that grass parking lot that we have out to the side of the building. That grass parking lot is going to be an art walk, a 200-seat theater, an outdoor theater, a drive-through coffee shop, cafeterias, and art studios for local artists and classrooms.
I'm so sorry that you guys thought small on this. I feel like you really restrained yourself on the development.
Now you can see why I sort of wanted to stay. You know, I got a little taste of what they were doing, and I said, no, I'm staying. I'm so staying.
What are you going to do about parking, though? What's happening with parking? I mean, obviously, you're going to need to have valet, right?
Yeah. Well, you're going to need to have valet for anything over 100 cars.
Right.
But we've been given permission by the city because they absolutely love the fact that we're not only doing this renovation, but we're really trying to keep it in the artsy, upcoming mode. They're transitioning it to something known to like Boxy Park, I think it's called, in Orlando.
Right.
It's done with shipping containers where they build. Also Maps in Wynwood does with shipping containers. That's what we're doing out there. So the city is so excited about our new developing that not only are they trying to change the codes so that we can do this, but they've given us use. It's a half mile down the road to their multi-level parking garage, their municipal garage, for free for all events.
That's incredible. It's incredible.
Where you will have to pay for valet, but the valet will shuttle the cars back and forth, so the guests still get off right in front of the building and get back in their cars. But we have been given the use of the municipal garage for free.
Oh my God! And I'm assuming that we still can load in through that big garage door.
Yes, the loading dock has not changed.
Because that's like actually one of my favorite things about your facility is that I can
pull
a truck right into the space. So if a bride has like really, wants to bring in really specific tables and furniture, it doesn't kill us to bring it down the hall and up 3 floors, so it's.
It makes it easy. I mean, we've had cars, we've had brides and grooms come in their grand intro in a car through there. We did the introduction of the Indian groom to the bride on an elephant through that door, because we can fit an elephant through that door.
That's incredible. I love it. I'm so excited. You're just, I'm like literally giddy about like the opportunity and the possibilities there. I mean, Tyler, aren't you? I mean, come on, look at all the cool stuff that they have that we're going to get to do.
Absolutely. I mean, we need another venue. We need lots of places that we can get creative, and not be so constrained by hotel rules and so forth.
Well, and their AC system is out of this world, so I love it. I mean, because
and they're making it better. They're making it better. Yeah,
you can still freeze people. It's, you know, it felt like a finished warehouse already because of all the incredible stuff that you used to have here. Now it feels like a finished venue. Like,
the only thing they had in mind was event space. When they bought the building, the front of the building was the only thing they had in mind was improving on the event space and making it better and making it incredible. So they're putting a second story in the back as well.
Oh,
Again, so next to the outdoor ceremony space, there's going to be spiral stairs up to the second level over the top of what's now the office area that will be used for either cocktail hour or photo space.
So you'll be able to, so in other words, outdoor second floor, so that way you'll be able to see everything. Like, in other words, it's going to be like a patio, let's say.
Yes, and they want to make it like with that clear barrier.
Yeah.
So that when you sit down, it's not like a fence, so that it's a clear barrier, so that you're really, your guests are overlooking things. Yeah.
I'm so excited about the space, and it's not even able to book anything yet. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait.
Yeah. Now, my first bride back is very excited if she gets to do the space, on her date, which is in September. We're keeping very close contact with the city and all their rules and making sure that everything is done the right way. But we're really hoping that by mid-September, it's only 100 people, and we have a capacity, a low capacity of 800 people.
I was about to say, I mean, I remember doing events for upward of 1,200, but it was on a rotating basis. So
but 1,200 for cocktail style, no problem. But for a sit-down event, our capacity is really, if you consider both sides, 800.
It's incredible.
So to do 100 would be really, really super.
So if you're a bride watching Gallery of Amazing Things, you got to go check it out, because it's an incredible space. And if you knew it before, it's completely reimagined at this point. Is the Chihuly glass still there, or did they take it?
No, the Chihuly, the museum is intact upstairs. The museum hasn't changed yet.
So you still have the, I'm so excited.
Okay.
I know, look at them, I'm like, because you have the largest private collection of Chihuly glass, right?
Yes, the largest private collection. Yes, Mr. Wiener owns it. It's all upstairs, and it's rotating. He's bringing in more and more things lately. So there's a lot of different pieces up there. But yes, the Chihuly room where we do ceremonies. We can do ceremonies in there, or cocktail hour. That's all intact. That has not left.
So again,
actually, they signed a new lease with us. So
I love it. So again, if you're just joining us, we're talking with Gaetana from Gallery of Amazing Things. If you've never been there, the second floor of, a lot of people don't even know it exists. So it's like crazy when I tell people that there's a second floor with Chihuly glass, because they're like, "What are you talking about?" I mean, I just the doing dinners in that space just blows my mind, because it's just over the top. So, by the way, talking about beautiful things, Brooke, your makeup looks sickening. I would not be a good boss if I didn't bring that up, because she's like, all you're gonna get today is a ponytail. I feel like I'm getting a lot more than just a ponytail. She's like, oh, I have to unmute. You're muted. Look, she muted herself. She muted herself. I didn't mute her.
Nice. I was putting time out last week, and my hair never looks better, or my makeup. Oh, all the customers. I was like, oh, Tyler can't even cruise me. I'm not on the show. Where's my good girlfriend? I know how to count heads. My arithmetic's really well, and I'm missing somebody.
Oh, I know. Nicole is off on another event at the moment, so hopefully she'll get to tell us all about it. So next week. So just to bring it full circle. So Marcy, have you had any calls or anything that's come up over the last week that you thought was interesting when it comes to move dates? Because I'm literally in the midst of helping a bride create what did she call it? ×2. Or second time or something. I mean, we're trying to come up with something cute to talk about, like the move date.
Oh, it's the move date? Is she doing a virtual?
No. I mean, so what we're going to do is, we moved her date from April of this year, or sorry, let me take that back. October of this year to I think February or March of next year. And so we're literally in the midst of creating move invites, and kept it very super simple. Cute picture of them on the beach with their dog, with with a little catchy phrase at the bottom, But we're trying to keep it budget friendly because again, it's an additional expense to move all this stuff. It's like, we've already put so much money into the invitations, and now it's like, okay, now we got to do another save the date.
There's actually a multitude of ways to go about changing a date. And I actually, if you go to my blog, which is on my website, I have a blog there, and there is a bunch of different samples under one of the posts about changing the date. So you can check out there, and there'll be some samples with some wording there. And if I come across something else, then I'll post that as well.
So with people would go to An Affair to Remember and then check out your blog from that logo?
www.rsv as in Victor, P as in Paul, S as in Sam, the number 4 and the letter U.com.
RSVP
so when you read it,
for you.
It's RSVPs4you.com.
Very clever. And
An Affair to Remember by Marcy would be a little bit long.
I was about to say,
on a string.
An Affair to Remember by Marcy.com. Okay. That's
That would be very long.
Yeah, RSVPs for you is much easier to get to. Yeah,
so I do actually have a question for Gaetana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gaetana, when they were and I don't know that you're going to know the answer to this or not, but I'm going to ask it anyway. When they were going through the renovation aspect of making everything new, was COVID taken into account with regards to, was there anything specific that had to be changed because of,
or that you just, or just kept in mind that because like if we go through this again,
So actually at this time, we're a big enough space that things that were here already in place, in the way of spreading people out, there are no walls or barriers. However, it depends on what type of event it is. If it's a corporate event or if it's like a charity event and they need barriers or walls, we do have those 6 large moving barrier walls that we can put between groups of people so that people are completely separated from one another. As far as putting things in the gallery, the only thing we've done is added, of course, hand sanitizer stations. So we've got a lot of stand-up sanitizer stations, but we just, maybe minutes before this call happened, we had Cintas in here so that we could get the on-the-wall, no-touch stations for in our restrooms, in our catering area, by the front doors, and they're modernized looking. They're very pretty. They're done in like a charcoal and stainless look. So we've done that, but there's really not a lot that we need to do here. It's really who comes in here. So our decorators, our caterers, who need to space people out and take the proper precautions.
Well, and I do love your space because when we've been there before, they come in the door and you could definitely do arrows in one direction because of how your space is set up to go into the cocktail reception and then go from there into the dinner and not have to have people cross each other. The setup there is incredible for that because you could just do a great big circle and head out.
Now, being that we do have the museum upstairs, we did have to put in place some markers on the floor so that when people come through the door, they stop at the desk. The person at the desk who is masked does bring them to the elevator. There are more spots on the floor, so they're far enough back from the elevator door if somebody comes out, and they have enough room then to get in, because that is an open to the public Tuesday through Saturday space that we have to be very mindful of here.
I was actually just going to ask, is the museum still open to the public?
Yeah, the museum is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 4.
And it's free, right?
No,
it's not.
Yeah,
Whoops.
no, they have it's a donation.
Okay.
So it's a donation in place of $10 per person, $8 per senior, but students are free. So
and if you guys
if you come and see me, then I can take you up there and it's
right. And I'm just saying, if you haven't been to the Gallery of Amazing Things, the second floor museum, the Chihuly glass is worth it all on its own. If you're a Chihuly glass fan, I mean, you're never gonna see this much of his work in one place without a massive crowd trying to like breathe on you. you know, because typically when I've gone, I've been like one of like 3 people in the whole museum. So, you know, I'm assuming that's probably still the same,
Pretty
especially
much
now.
the norm.
Yeah. Which is
But
incredible.
it's nice. Dinners up there, like executive dinners, corporate dinners, when they have dinners for, you know, 50, 60, 80 people in that room. It's beautiful because you don't need any decor. You just need tables and chairs. It's beautiful. You really don't need anything that's enough to look at.
So it's great to be giddy about events again, because the fact that I'm like, oh, a new event space. But a question that I have for all of you, and it's something that I personally went through this last week. I feel like I went through a second round of COVID depression. I don't even know if that's the correct way to say it, because it is, right? It's that moment of, here we are going into August, and I'm like, oh my God, I may even have to start thinking about moving my events in December. Has anybody else gone through that, Tyler? Is it something, I mean, it's like.
Yeah, I've been so depressed. I still haven't made it to my home yet. I've just been going from place to place. I just don't want to face reality.
So wait, are you literally like bothering people like on the way back to your house? Like you're like, okay, I know them. I'll stay there. I had a conversation
last night with my big event in Vegas.
Oh God.
And how exactly what they were gonna do if they held it. And we're talking about breaking a giant convention room into smaller ballrooms and only allowing 100 people in at a time. This is a ballroom dance event.
Right.
That we do every year, and it's a huge decor thing, but now it's going to get complicated if we have to break it up into 4 or 5 smaller venues.
Because I mean,
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how we work with that. Another one of my clients who will not be using me this year, but she's going to go ahead with her event. She's going to do it herself just because of budgeting, because they have to not have as many people.
Right.
They're going to put 4 different dance floors in a room, and
interesting.
Yeah, and each person's going to have to wash their hands. It's going to be very regulated. Everything has to be the hand sanitizers. The people will be dancing with each other, but some of them are probably going to have face shields.
Wow.
So they're working on all that. It's just interesting how it's all going to be redefined, and the gala part of these events are probably not going to happen.
And that's the sad part. I mean, that's the part that, you know, when we do the NACE conference or we go to these things, it's great to go see the speakers, and those are easy to change, to fix, so that way you're 6 feet apart, et cetera. But it's the galas I always loved going to. It's the interaction, the human interaction of dancing and having fun, and, you know, and now that's like, you know, bye.
We would have been there right now, actually.
Oh, that's actually true. We would have been in Vegas right now. Oh, that sucks. I just realized that.
Yeah,
I just realized that. I'm like, crap.
I'm like, thanks for bringing that up, Marcy.
Sorry.
Oh, that's right.
Keith, you promised me we were going.
I know. Well, I'm sorry, Brooke. COVID got in the way. I know. No. So Brooke was going to come with me to this year's.
I mean, we were hired to do it. I mean, I was like,
next year
in Vegas for the first time with the Bellagio, I couldn't possibly. I'm not at all.
The Bellagio is where my event is in October. Maybe you can come with me.
Oh, right. Oh. Hey, look.
Well, I knew the ponytail was going to work today.
Well, I already volunteered my services for that, because, you know, if you need help on that, I mean,
we know what that means. Come on, Mini-Me.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's something fun that I saw, guys. So people are getting so creative. So one of the problems is music. So bands spew out a lot of
slim.
Yeah. Well, they've come up with some really imaginative solutions for instruments and singers and everything. It's really cool. Have you guys seen any of this posted?
Well, I've seen plexiglass. Like they come in and they put in plexiglass in between the singers.
Yeah, but even saxophones, trumpets, all that kind of stuff, they're making masks for where the air comes out.
No, really?
Yeah, so because you can imagine how much stuff comes out when you're blowing through an instrument, especially like a trombone or a trumpet or that kind of thing. Yeah, I played trumpet. Tuba. I played trumpet, and I can tell you, it's a nasty situation. There's spit everywhere.
Yeah.
But now they're going to fix. They're creating. They even have like flute shields with little things. Yeah, it goes around the flute, and you can play the flute without because you're blowing air. So instead of blowing it out in the crowd, it's going to contain it a little bit. So I found
so
that
you can basically just spit in your own face. That's hot.
It's better than mine. I don't know.
Like, I'd rather be spitting in my own face than yours. Well, like I've been going to the dentist a lot the last 4 days or 5 days, and it's been just fun. But what they've done at the dentist office is they put basically a great big vacuum right next to your face. It is like sucking. It's literally constantly pulling air through, so that way you can't spit on the doctor. Not that you would really want to spit on the doctor, but before, when you used to have your mouth open and the instruments and like, how you doing? Now they don't even ask that
So
question.
the new norm, you got to carry a Hoover on your shoulder.
Exactly. It was totally like this whole Hoover contraption. I mean, luckily I felt very safe, but still, it was crazy to walk in and you see every room and a big Hoover next to everybody's face.
It's too funny.
I mean, but that's our world now. That's the things that we have to start thinking about. I actually got a baseball cap that has a visor attached to it, a plastic visor. I love that thing. I mean, I look like a beekeeper everywhere I go. I literally look like a beekeeper. Shut up, Brooke.
That's a look.
But it's like, but if I'm going into BJ's or something, honey, I put on that visor and my mask and I feel 100% protected. I mean, that's just kind of and the best thing is that nobody even looks twice anymore. I mean, you can literally wear the worst possible thing, and where all those Walmart people used to be stared at and made fun of, now it's normal. You can't even make memes anymore. What happened?
It's completely normal. It's completely normal.
But I mean, that's the thing, is that one of the things that venues are starting to do is patterns for their air conditioning systems, about where it comes in and where it goes out. So I'm really interested to see how people start working on that, because I saw recently I saw a video of a hotel doing smoke bombs, figuring out where the air circulation was going and how to best manipulate it for one way. So they're talking about creating negative rooms. Have you ever heard of this? Pressurized negative rooms, meaning that the air always goes out. It doesn't come in, it always goes out. And a lot of hospitals do this, but now they're trying to figure out how to make ballrooms negative rooms. So that way, no matter what, you're not going to have air coming in from the outside. It's always going to be going out.
Well, I know here at Gallery, we recently had our AC, because we're looking to revamp some of the system. It is older in some of the parts, and in the blowers, especially in the larger rooms, in the blowers, they now make an additional filter that goes in the out system. So there's a filter when everything comes in, so the dirt doesn't go back into the AC. So now there are small filters that they put on the inside of the blowout filters.
But doesn't that just mean that you have to increase the size of the fan or the
well, that's one of the reasons why we're looking to revamp the system a bit here, because a lot of it is older. This building was built, I believe, in the 50s.
Gosh,
so
really?
on the west side of the building, all of those, they're not even air conditioners, they're called chillers. They just blow air from cold water that circulates through the system back out. So it's not even air, it's just water that gets blown across. And they're looking at redoing all of them because they just don't get cold enough. So
and I had already mentioned earlier on the show that it gets freezing in that space, so I can't even imagine.
So they want it colder.
Well, but there's a lot of people are going to HEPA filters, and where before, as event planners and event specialists, we had to be very knowledgeable about like hang points, pressure points, electrical, how many amps is this, and now we're having to learn about HEPA filters and air conditioning systems. And I mean, I just feel like the knowledge base just continues to grow larger and larger and larger. And if you're going to
take that CPCE test really soon.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, yeah. So Marcy just got her CPCE certification. But, I mean,
oh boy.
Oh yeah, think about it. They're going to be adding to that. So everything that we've learned because Gaetana also does event planning as well. As not only does she represent this organization, but a gallery of amazing things, but she also does events also on the weekends. So she's right there in the same boat with all of us, trying to figure out how to best keep people safe.
How to do it.
Yeah, while keeping people safe and still have a good time. I mean, I've realized recently, not recently, but people's budgets for things are shifting, where before it used to be, 20, 30%, 50%, you were pretty sure about where those budget numbers were going to go. And now people are like, well, maybe we spend less money on florals or decor and put money more towards PPE or some of these protection pieces. I know Tyler's like, what? Don't take away my flowers. I mean, have you guys had any of that? Like, have you gotten anybody saying, our budget is our budget? Because what I found is that, of course, less people are coming, so there's actually more room in the budget for some of these other
that's what
things.
I'm finding too.
Yeah,
people are cutting down. They're saying, because a lot of their guests, especially for coming here at Gallery, a lot of my recent events have been in the Vietnamese community, and their weddings are typically 400 people. That's a good nominal number for them. But because most of their people now come from the Asian continent,
right?
We don't know when they can really travel here and come in numbers. So we've gone from 400 person events to maybe 100, 150 person events, but they don't want their budget to change. They have that budget. They were ready to spend that money. So they're actually going bigger on a lot of things, bigger food budget, bigger decor budget, things of that nature. So
just to make it a little bit more spectacular. Yeah, make it more spectacular for the individual person. But here's the sad thing is that right now I think there's only a couple of countries that American citizens can actually fly to. Have you guys noticed that? Because like even the Caribbean has said, sorry, you can't come to our country. So I've got a couple of people that are doing weddings in the Caribbean that are now having to scramble to find some places local. Like
now, are they able to get refunds and things? Are they giving them? Are they? Or
well,
they,
because it was done
that's
by
a hard one.
Yeah, because it was done by the government. They have to give the money back because it's considered an act of God or an act of government. Okay. So they actually have to give the money back. But there's not a lot of places here that are allowing events. Like Pelican Grand, I just did a tasting 10 days ago at the Pelican Grand, and it's the first like in-person wedding thing that I've done. And then of course we followed it almost immediately with a meeting with Marcy that I actually had a friend of mine who owns a restaurant give us the restaurant during the day so nobody else would be around us. I mean, Marcy, you felt pretty safe at that meeting. Yeah.
I felt very safe, yes.
But I mean, all of us, we were around this huge table and all of us were wearing masks the entire time. And, and of course I had sanitizing wipes and I had sanitized everybody's bottle of water so nobody would have to touch anything else. But that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about now. But I mean, Caribbean weddings trying to move their dates to here has been a big thing.
So have any of you with any clients been able to do at any other venues? I don't know how many other people are actually open like we are. I'm doing walkthroughs. Are you doing walkthroughs? Are brides receptive to it? Are venues receptive to it? Are people going to other places?
So we're doing a lot of Zoom walkthroughs. Pelican Grand, again, like I said, one of the few places that is actually doing sales calls, but the Conrad is still shut down. So their director of sales is, I think, the only person on property. A lot of the Hiltons and the Hyatts and stuff, their people are still furloughed. So, there's not even anybody to talk to get a walkthrough. Like I think the W is still shut down, guys, isn't it? I mean, they had it literally shuttered their doors, but I haven't gone back to check.
I mean, we're here. We've been showing people are anxious to get through the door, which surprised me. Are you there? Can we come in? When can we get there? We want to come today.
But I mean, because people are desperate. They those that are ready to do an event are ready now. Like they're like, I don't want to wait. But then I have the other half of my clientele that says, absolutely not. We're not going near anybody until there's a vaccine. So I feel like I feel bipolar in a lot of circumstances when I'm talking to people, because I either have to be the pro-COVID visual or the pro, I mean, and you have to be all things to all clients.
It's true. It's very true. And we're here as an office space every day, because we have the office that's normally in the back is out here in my reception room.
Right.
And so we're here every day on a limited basis. Some people that come in and we don't mask. And that's just because we're so far apart from each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in a 6,000 square foot room and right now there are 3. people.
Okay, so each of you has
3.
2,000 square feet. I think that's
There's
actually
nobody
plenty
near me.
Yeah, I
We're
think
gonna
that's
come play in your playground.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're on our way.
I'm bringing my rollerblades, honey, and my 80s
Me too.
music.
Oh, we can make a roller disco.
I'm just saying.
Exactly. It's crazy. It's
I have
I do
that
have
big
one
skate,
person that
all
comes.
skate.
Yeah,
All
he comes
skate.
with his
Ladies'
skateboard every
choice.
day. It's crazy. So
All
when I have
skate.
people come through, I ask them, do you want a mask? Do you not want a mask? How do you feel about it? Are you good with it? Are you good without it? You know, I want everybody to feel comfortable as you felt in the restaurant.
Right.
And for the most part, you know, we all wear it. We're all fine. We're all good. We all keep away from each other, but we share information. But like you said, some are really ready to get out there and plan.
Yeah,
And
really.
they want the world to open back up for them in that respect.
Yep.
And the others are, you know, they're hanging back. They don't want to do anything right now.
Well, like I said, I have to give it up to the Pelican Grand because they did a really beautiful job at the tasting. I mean, we were the only people
That's awesome.
there. The server actually had a double mask on, had a cloth and cotton mask on, had a little station where she was changing out her gloves. So every course she would change out her gloves, put on a new pair of gloves, bring out the next course. It was incredible. I mean, yeah. I really felt like, okay, this is how events are going to be handled moving forward. You know, and she made it feel seamless, by the way. I'm going to give it up to the waitress there because she did.
That's great.
She made it feel seamless. And we were at a, I don't know, 20-foot table. So it was a big ass table. You know, there was a little bit of screaming like, how do you like your tuna? Is that okay? Is that good? Like, oh, that crispy wonton is really crispy. You know, so there was... So there's a little bit of that, you know, where you feel like, okay. And then, of course, the mask keeps you from being as loud as you normally would be. Probably not.
Oh, can you imagine trying to silence me, though?
I was about to say.
Covering this mug would be a disservice to
all. Well, I think that could be said for all of us. I don't think there's a shy person.
No, I didn't say that.
No. I think that's part of the criteria.
Yeah,
shyness goes out the window.
Yeah, you can't be in this business and be shy. But so, Marcy, besides my meeting, because you met with 2 of my clients in person, right?
Yes.
So besides them, have you met with anybody
I haven't met with anybody else in person. I've talked
just my crazy clients. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I've talked to people on the phone and on the internet. But
oh yeah.
Nobody else in person. No, I mean, honestly, I felt very, very comfortable with our meeting. In person, I thought that was handled very well. The space was perfect. There was, you know, it wasn't like there was a crowd of people around us or anything. So that was all good.
Then, I thought. And then what about your meeting that you did because the Lawrences came to you, right? They came to your office. So
they came to me when I was still in my house.
And so you had control over it. You knew, like, you know,
because it was a private place, and I had hand sanitizer and all of those essentials right there as people walked in. If they didn't have their masks. If it wasn't just them, but other clients as well. If they didn't have their masks with them, they were provided one at the time that they came to me.
So I'm going to give you guys a question that I want you to think about, and it's the same question I think I asked last week. It's, you know, if you had a specific tip to give a new bride in this day and age, what would it be? And my tip last week was, you know, have your Fab 5, you know, the 5 things that you want to see, hear, or do at your wedding, and keep those on a piece of paper so that no matter what how the challenges come up or any things that you have to change or move, you have those 5 things that are near and dear to you. So, you know, a lot of people wouldn't put, you know, oh, I don't want people in masks. They might now, but, you know, back then it was like, oh, I would really love to have a specific band, and I really want to have my grandparents there. And I really, you know, those 5 things kind of keep you grounded and focused moving forward. What about you guys? What would be a specific tip that you would give a new bride in this day and age?
I mean, for me, I would say try to come prepared for your meetings. In other words, plan ahead, keep it concise, keep your appointments short as best as you can. Yep. Limit your exposure. Be upfront with what you're looking for, whether it's, you know, the style, design, the type of paper, anything of those natures. and your information. I mean, think about your wording ahead. Those are things that you can do ahead of time. And
Right.
if you have questions, all of those things can be done like either via email or on the telephone or a virtual appointment. But all of those things can be limiting your time when you're in person with any vendor. Try to limit the time with them.
So in other words, making the most of your time,
Exactly.
being a little bit more specific about the instructions and needs that you're really looking for. So that way your time in person is really valuable.
Your time is not only valuable, but you're keeping yourself safe by limiting the exposure aspect. You know,
I agree with that. I think that's a big thing.
We all want to stay healthy so we can be at those events and have a great time.
Right, especially. How about you, Gaetana? Any specific something that you would instruct brides in this day and age?
I think because of the different hats that I wear, I work as a caterer, I work as a planner, and I work as a venue manager. So with having all of those things, I would like to say to our brides and couples, try not to be so stringent on your ideas. Be a little bit more flexible in this time. We want your event and those special moments for your event to go off perfectly in the way that you wanted them. Yeah. But we may have to tweak things in this time. Yeah. We may have to tweak things just a little bit. We're not trying to change what you want, but we're just trying to change it in the way that it's proper and good and safe for everybody involved, so that you still get what you want, but in the best way possible. So be a little bit more flexible. We know how they get, if it's the wrong color lavender on a cake, we might have complete meltdown.
Well, and I tell people all the time, I'm like, look, your experience isn't just based on your own personal experience. It's going to be based on what people write about, talk about, say during and after the wedding. When you look back and people go, God, that was the best wedding I've ever been to, that's going to add to your enjoyment. But if they go, man, that bride just went crazy. Did you see how crazy she was? That's also going to add to the idea of it. So, if I tell
Coco Chanel.
Right? Coco Chanel. Anyway, I tell clients all the time, I'm like, what you have on your face is how other people are going to be feeling at the same time. So be very careful about what happens here. Because,
and many times they melt down over the things that their guests will never know. They'll never notice it. But yet that's that one thing that dragged them over the edge. The napkin ring was on at 6 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock or something. And it was on the table that way. And it just drove her right off the ledge. But the guests say, wow, this is the prettiest table I ever saw. So. Yep.
Yeah, and then that's sometimes very difficult to get across to couples. Yeah. It's like, when you're looking at planning, typically people make their judgment on a ballroom in like 0.5 of a second. 0.5 of a second from the moment they walk in, their judgment has already been made. So having a slightly more more purple lavender versus a lighter, but nobody's going to notice. Nobody's going to care.
Nobody noticed, but this bride, when they see that and they say, I didn't pick it, just bring it down, breathe. It tastes the same, I swear.
And the pictures are going to probably make it look like
it's lovely.
Yeah, the picture's going to be amazing. That's the thing. Is like
Photoshop, darling.
Yeah, look up and see my lavender. It goes from lighter to darker.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You? This is a real butterfly. I
don't. Tyler, what about you? Any remarks or questions or thoughts about how a bride should,
go about? I think they should keep their dream. Don't feel defeated. Don't give up on your dreams already. Maybe reimagine. Just like it was already been said, just be a little bit flexible. Be flexible with your dreams. Just keep the dream alive. I just hate to see people so defeated. I have one bride that just feels like she may never get the date of the place she wants again. But I think the place will work with her. It's just they had to, the wedding was in September and they decided to cancel because people were coming in and people are afraid to fly.
Yeah.
And she just felt like the dynamic and the venue is very hard to book. So she was feeling very defeated. I said, keep this dream alive. And if that doesn't happen at that venue, we'll find you another one that's similar,
Yeah.
You just got to be a little bit flexible and
Well,
all I can say is it's just everyone, like, don't focus in on little details like you're saying. Let's just look at the overall picture. It needs to be happy. It needs to be fun.
Mhm.
It needs to be reimagined. No one really needs to know that, you were expecting to have 300 people at your wedding and that's the dream you had all your life. Well, maybe you still can virtually.
right.
Pick the closest and then spend that money on me. Me.
Well, I mean, but that's so true. It's like,
So true.
people are there because they want to help celebrate your love, not because they expected a 5-course meal or expected a specific visual. They're there because you guys invited them and they're there to celebrate with you. All the other stuff is fluff. That's all frosting. So
I agree.
Yahtzee.
Totally agree.
Well, and one of the things that I'd like to say is that, I know that right now times are tough and that, businesses are really looking for any way to bring in money. But I feel like when it comes to man hours, planners, event designers and things, how much I charged per hour before and how much I charge per hour, I should have actually charged more money now because I'm going to be there in case things mess up. So I do, of course, obviously I want to do everything I can to book business late into 2020 and to 2021, but I'm not going to radically reduce my pricing because I'm still working the same amount of hours, if not more at this point, so my weddings that were in April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, you're getting a deal.
You're right, because you're working a year longer now. I mean, for the most part, a lot of mine that went a year to 14 or 15 months ahead, I've got to work with them now that much longer, and I can't book that date out again. So it would have been 2 revenues. It would have been this year and next year, and it's just 1 now. So I totally get it. And we try to tell them that too. Hey, look, you're getting the bargain of the century because you get to have us that much longer. And we're doing the same job for you. We're not cutting it. We're not scaling back.
Well, we're actually probably doing more. I mean, a lot of my weddings, I did not only did I book the original hotel, I helped rebook it and renegotiated the contract so that they wouldn't have to pay a move fee or they wouldn't have to, change the pricing in the room block. So, the thing is that there's a medium for all of these things that are happening. Yes, it is really tough out there. It is really stressful. But, if you're willing to work with your vendors and find that middle ground, I think that there's some place for all of us to land and that everybody feels happy and comfortable. Brooke, any last words?
Oh, final thoughts. Yeah, I've been watching the clock. I'm like, God, I need a cigarette and I got to pee too.
She typically runs off screen. So
I've pulled down backdrops and like, I don't have any malfunction to go smoke a cigarette. I was like, Keith, no more boring shows. No, so my final thoughts, because we all know how to act around the nice brides that are cool right now. So this tip is going to be for the bridezillas that start complaining and having meltdowns about the lavender icing. Don't leave your mouth on a running chainsaw. That's a tip. That's a good tip.
That seems a little dramatic. I was like, that's kind of dramatic. Don't leave your mouth on a running chainsaw.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's for the complainers, honey.
I was like, that's deep.
And I feel like it's been a month, but it's only been 2 weeks since I've been gone. We won't talk about what happened last week. But Marcy, congratulations to Marcy on her certificate and her new home. Your new home looks lovely behind you, Marcy. I love that. Yeah. And Miss Amazing Things, I miss you. It's been a while. Keith said I couldn't talk about
it's been too long.
He said don't mention the mopping, so I can't mention the mopping. And Tyler,
I totally told her, I'm like, don't bring out the mopping.
And that was a Danielle thing anyways. It had nothing to do with that.
No. Yeah.
I was the nice girl that mopped the floor. I mean,
yes, you did.
Look,
so Keith, if you want to go see the glass on the second floor, I know somebody. I can probably get you in for free.
Oh my God. Like literally I started sweating. I was like, okay.
I know. He gets so nervous. He's like, God, she's just. Well, he stopped. Listen, y'all. He stopped. No more Tito's. The wine drops.
No more
I haven't had any boo. Like, I'm like, who's getting my show pay? So, I'm drinking the bad wine. If y'all saw me sinking to the back of the couch, that's why. It just doesn't have the same lift. So
funny.
But
so funny.
That's all I got. I love you all, and it's nice to see everyone. And Tyler, you look super handsome today.
Yeah, I love your backdrop. I love Tyler's backdrop. I want to live there. It's not a bad place to live rent free.
Oh, and I love you're wearing my favorite tunic. I think you wear it every show now. So Can we do
Well,
something
no,
different next
it's
week?
actually it's slightly different. I have a rose-colored one. I have a purple one. So shut up. This is not.
Oh,
the
I'm
same.
sorry. Flowers on flowers on flowers. Lavender.
Flowers on. Hey, hello.
Chainsaw.
Shut up. All right. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for another Behind the Veil. So thank you, Marcy Gutenberg with An Affair to Remember by Marcy. Thank you, Tyler Black with Cachet Events. Thank you, Lady Stoner. That seems like a weird name, Lady Stoner. Anyway.
I like that.
I do too, And then also thank you to our special guest, Gaetana, with Gallery of Amazing Things. We love doing the tour of your property.
Yeah.
And actually, Gaetana's going to be back with us next week. So next week, we've got some exciting stuff.
Okay.
We're going to be going to a new format. So you'll be able to watch us just as you always have, but we're going to have a little bit of a technology upgrade.
Ooh.
Keith, we should go between
love
now and
that.
then and
Tyler,
tour
I
upstairs
love
and we'll
that.
do like a live video.
I think
you
that
just
would be
can't wear the
amazing.
hat with a shield thing. I won't be seeing you at that gig. So.
She doesn't have a-
I'll Ryan Stone it or something. It'll be
She
fabulous.
doesn't want me to wear my baseball cap. All right. So thank you all so much. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.